Fred experience, and I'm experiencing it here with what name do you go by?
Joshy Dollaz.
Joshy Dollaz. All right.
Still Joshy Dollaz.
Joshy Dollaz.
Well, most definitely, I would. Podcast needs to have those experiences, and it definitely needs different walks of life and different people and different energies. Like because that's one thing about people. We don't got all the answers, but together we could figure out the majority of it.
Yeah.
So it would definitely be a great experience, and definitely to look from even people that like I strongly disagree with. I would love to get people from different walks of life. Even try to understand why they feel the way they feel.
Yeah, I think that's something that I think people are afraid to do for various reasons. Because I think people are afraid to have their views challenged and maybe them feeling like their views are incorrect. But life is always realizing that you always gonna have incorrect views.
And then a lot of views are, mostly opinion based anyways. It's not factual. So you you can't just let the your ego get bruised just by someone just strictly having a different walk of life or a different walk of faith or any ways that they want to communicate with you or talk to you. So there's uh there's always space to learn or always space to try to understand. Even if you just can't understand, you can listen and hear people out.
Right, because it's not it. I think I got into a conversation with somebody, and it turned immediately into this right and wrong thing. Right. Um, I think that you can have right and wrong conversations, but it's the spirit in which you do it in. Like if you trying to, shut down somebody's conversation.
So sorry to cut you off, bro, but do you try to delete like because some incidents, there is the right and there's the wrong, but there's a gray area. Do you try to delete that whole gray area out of
No, no, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that again, understanding that I am fallible. I'm having an experience in life, and I'm sharing my experiences. You can accept them. You can, agree with them. You can, learn from them. You can disregard, throw them in the trash. But at the end of the day, that's the experience that I'm sharing, right? And I think that um, we are all unique people. So when you realize that you have your own fingerprint, it means that it identifies you as unique. Then you have a view. I think the world they want to disagree with your view and feel like and make you feel like you shouldn't have
they basically push you back into like the high school ways of thinking. Where prime example like for the kids that were strong enough to create their own styles and stuff in high school, where like it changes every decades or like generations with these kids. But it was like I don't know what your generation was, but I know my generation. Everybody wanted to have the Rockaware, Sean John, the Nietzsche, the academic, and it was like if your parents couldn't afford that and you was a kid that was South Pole, people were trying to talk bad about you and roast you, and that's kind of wrong. But it's like even with viewpoints, it's like everything is making it seem here because now, like for instance, like I don't know, I mean, it's a younger crowd, and plus you wouldn't even be paying no attention to people like that anyway. But there's something going on in the social media world right now with the Megan Thee Stallion twerking, and all you see is women all over social media just shaking booty right now. So now, like, it's guys that's like going to the level of saying, man, why is everybody shaking butt on what is wrong with y'all? And now it's people like, is you dudes gay? Because why don't you want to see booty shaking? And that's crazy. And then I'm thinking like to the level of like, why do every time like somebody have to disagree with like the way that like the ratchetness of women or something being moved that you say they gay? Why don't you just say that these people they might be looking for more in a woman? That might make them feel bad or something. I don't know, honestly, but
I mean, I think that it goes to say everybody has a point of view and everybody has a way of responding to other people's points of view. It's easy to just say, "Are you gay?" instead of addressing the deeper issue that obviously someone is trying to point out. Like, you know, we got we got in these examples of women that these young girls look at. I mean, and I know they have to think about it, but I think that bag speaks louder than the morals.
Almost
You know,
done. Almost done.
and no, and
Because
again,
cause that's where everything is being measured to right now. It ain't even about how your high school or your college, a degree. It's about how much money you get. What you doing in the world. I don't care about your degree. Little baby got $10 million. You feel me? I don't care about what you doing. And that's where it's being broke down to. Because now you have people like that historically supposed to be the people that we look into, like the people that make things happen. We didn't took that power away from the doctors and the people that the engine, the bioengineers, the people that keeps everything going. We don't give a damn about them people. You go to school for that, you go to school for that. But in our black culture, I want to be like Casanat.
hmm.
I want to be the nigga that can just go in the house and go stream, and I can be big, and everybody feels that, and that's great. Like for that brother, because he's a young rich guy, he's doing this thing.
Right.
Every time he streams, it's hundreds of thousands of people watching him. He built his platform,
Right.
but it's at the same token, like when kids see that, they see it microwavably. Now you got everybody trying to do what everybody do. And then one thing about, a phenomenon, like, one thing with him, you can't do what everybody do. You just can't. Because now it's already been done already. So now you just basically trying to ride a wave that everybody has seen already. You
No,
gotta be different. You gotta have your own uniqueness to it. And then certain things with those guys, I see, they party a lot and do things. A lot of people I don't think would really want to step into that realm, even though they act like they do.
well, I mean, they act like they do because that's all they know is what they see.
Okay.
You don't see nothing. You see it, and then you imagine. Like just as unique as we are, we imagine uniquely as well too. Like we all see it play out the same way though. Like we all having a similar. Well, like the youth right now, everybody's dressing the same way.
Dressing the same way.
But they each say they have their own unique spin
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. Like it got me even looking at like, man, because I like the style, but it's like, damn, why do everybody got the 2-strand dreadlocks now?
Yeah.
Everybody go get a retwist. They go get, you
Well, sometimes I think about the fact that history repeats itself. Our people, what did our hair look like? Like I think we do things not even knowing where we get it from, but it's historical. I imagine.
Okay.
And I think that when I first heard that locks were like the real name of it wasn't dreadlocks, and where dreadlocks came from is like these people with these locks. Like it's like they were like terrible things, like a name for them. Like they were dreadful. And when you see that, it's interesting. Like today, it's like the same connotation. Locks have this negative connotation to it.
Okay.
And but the kids and even adults, like I think a lot of black people are drawn to. They're drawn to they see the style. And they're like, oh, I like that. I mean,
Yeah, I started wearing locks in high school. Like I'm one of the people that probably cut out like anybody know me that's watching. They go like, man, that dude cut out 7, 8 sets of locks off his head.
why do you do that?
One because it's like sometimes it be hot in the summer. That'll be like when the California summer, you want to cut your hair off. And then I like wearing a fade. And then it's like at the same token, what made me start wearing locks in the first place, it always means something to me. That's why I lock my hair up. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was a shorty, I don't think I ever had like when I had fro length, I always threw an S curl on my hair. Always had a little, West Side texturized gel looking all glistening. But then when I got when I got like 15, 16, when I started like twisting on my hair and watching my hair grow and looking like, damn, I need all these chemicals in my hair, I never went back. So every time I do grow my hair, it'll be like I'm gonna lock my hair.
But that's my point. Like you discover something, that
Most definitely.
it's your natural thing. And I think that I think that black people, like even the name, the connotation is a negative thing. Like we don't know where we come from, so we constantly, I think, just with just people that are.
Yeah, you don't got no knowledge yourself, so you basically let these people document you as the Negro, or document you as the nigger, or
Yeah.
document you as just a thug or whatever. And it's like you don't want to go really like search like that inner challenge of having knowledge yourself, because that angry stage.
Yeah, but you know what? At the
That's
same
that
time,
that angry stage.
there's a lot of black people out here today who are looking, who are searching, who are trying to discover. I think that not of them all start off well. Like you got some cats out here that like them in prison. They was out here doing bogus stuff, but then they get them years and they learn some stuff and they change. You know what I'm saying?
And
Like,
then you can really see it for what it is. Definitely in the penal system, because people that you want to kill in these streets, you might mess around and be cool with them after you then came on. It was actually cool, dude. We just come from two different sides of the fence, and then you just see it for what it's bigger. Like me personally, I never did time in the Illinois system, but I did time in California prison, so I know, like in situations where like there's no one on ones with other races. So like in certain situations, like the South Side Serranos, or the Northeast and the blacks, or the Asians and the blacks, or the whites and the blacks, when they get into it, everybody get into it. So there's a lot of people that was enemies that had to fight on side of each other in these riots, and had to really see like, man, it's bigger than what we what we taught on the streets, because it's at the end of the day, we all losing, we all dying,
I mean,
we all going to jail.
I think it's interesting. Like it's and how people, again, we talked about it earlier, just your own experience that you're having, and then your imaginations. Like most fears, most disagreements are all misunderstandings, all miscommunication. And when you think about it, no one ever resolves those issues. They take them as fact. So to your point, I mean, people. I mean, you know what? People have been killing each other for the longest time, but it's like for us. I mean, we see our culture, and it's obviously we live in America. It's an epidemic.
But it's also magnified in our culture.
It is magnified
Like
because it's glorified.
yeah, and it's glorified, but it's magnified to a level. Like if a white boy kills somebody up north, they won't even show them.
Yeah,
But they'll put
it's almost like it don't happen.
put it on Pulaski, and then to the level of like Latino violence is just as high as black on black violence. But it's like they put it in our face. Stop black on black crime. Stop this. And then, we could get to the levels of like, marching and doing things like that. Then you will see some Latino gang shit go on, a little kid get hit. And you don't see none of that. I don't know what they personally doing. It's not my business, but same token, it's like when you see black on black crime, it's like everything you'll see a poster. Stop black on black crime. Stop black on black crime. But you'll never talk about stop white on white crime. Stop these different races on racist crime. Because when we even study to what crime is, people do crime around the people they're around. And you in a black community, Chicago, a lot of places don't have what we call a black community. Chicago does, where it's segregated. So you're in a black community, who you gonna do crime with? You gonna go all the way over there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like man has not been killing his own kind,
Forever.
his own race. You want to say? I
Forever.
mean, because we
And
all
then
humankind, but
even with the little Hotep Black Power conscious thing, and no disrespect to the Black Power movement or the conscious movement before, but I'm talking about this watered down YouTube shit. They will say stuff like, lie to people and say, Well, Africans didn't have violence before European contact. That's a lie.
Hmm.
That's a lie.
That is a lot.
People been at war with each other since the beginning of time. There's always going to be power struggle. There's always going to be somebody that comes into the successorship that feels like they need more. It's conquerors. That's always going to happen. So people, maybe the guns, spears and stuff that keep the casualties to, a little bit lower, but it always happens. People always was at war.
Yeah, I think that I don't know where people get their ideas from. I think that we're not long. Like I'm not here in the world long enough to know enough. But what I do believe I know is I have pieces of things, right? And so I think that when you when you look at it, like people people formulate their ideas off of like I don't know. I think they get most of the ideas from TV, about like or they hear something on YouTube nowadays. Like kids always talking about what they learned from TikTok or whatever. Like it's a lot of information out there, right? And it's overwhelming.
A lot of BS information.
And it is. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's overwhelming. Like we are inundated with so much information and so many things going on and so many problems that people are having in their lives trying to find answers. People really want answers, but they don't want BS. And I think most of the time they recognize, depending on where it comes from, I don't understand it quite, but depending on where it's coming from, they'll listen to it, accept it, or they won't. But I think at the end of the day, man, like, I think that society, man, we've lost our way because we have no barometer. We have no foundation of truth anymore. I think it's a misnomer. Like people don't realize, man, how important that is to have a foundation of truth. Like every country is even established off a creed or constitution, some kind of agreement, like a contract, something like. But in our society, we almost like live our lives like we know enough. Like that's called being immature. Children think they can do whatever they want.